Refugee claim in Canada. What happens after you file and how to avoid early mistakes. When a refugee claim has been filed, many people expect the hardest part is over because they have started the process. In reality, the period after filing is when important deadlines begin and when evidence needs to be gathered and organized properly. A refugee claim can succeed or fail based on preparation, consistency, and credibility, even when the underlying story is genuine. This video explains what normally happens after the refugee claim is filed, what the decision maker is looking for, and what practical steps you can take to reduce risk early on in the file. This is Nora Eze with Nora Law Professional Corporation in London, Ontario. Nora Law is a boutique law firm providing strategic legal solutions across immigration, corporate governance and regulatory compliance, family law, and child protection matters. This video provides legal information and general education, and it is not legal advice because every case depends on specific facts and deadlines. So let's get into it. Who decides a refugee claim and what the claim is really about? In Canada, refugee claims are decided by the Immigration and Refugee Board, specifically the Refugee Protection Division, which is often called the RPD. Many claimants assume IRCC will decide the claim because IRCC is involved in other immigration applications, but the refugee hearing and decision typically happens at the IRB. A refugee claim is not an application based on hard life or general poverty. It is an application based on risk and protection. The decision maker is assessing whether the legal test for protection is met and whether the claimant's evidence is credible and consistent. So what happens after filing and why does this stage matter? After filing, the case moves into preparation and disclosure. In practical terms, this means that the written narrative and forms become the foundation of the case. Everything that is said later, including testimony at the hearing, is compared against what was written in the beginning. This is why early accuracy matters. During this stage, claimants usually need to gather documents and disclose evidence on time. Now, disclosure means providing documents and information that you will rely on to prove your claim. Evidence can also include identity documents, police or court records, medical records, proof of political or social involvement, and objective country information. Evidence can also include witness statements, but these statements definitely need to be specific and credible to be useful. This stage also includes preparing for hearing process. A refugee hearing is a structured legal proceeding. It is common for the decision maker to ask detailed questions about dates, locations, and sequence of events because these details are part of credibility assessment. Now let's go further to understand what the IRB typically focuses on in decision making. In many cases, the decision turns on credibility and consistency. The decision maker generally looks for internal consistency, which means that the claimant's testimony matches the claimant's written narrative and form. The decision maker also looks for external consistency, which means the claimant's story aligns with objective information about the country conditions in the country of origin. Additionally, the decision maker also looks for corroboration where it is reasonable to expect it. The tribunal understands, however, that refugees do not always have the perfect documents, but the tribunal may still ask what documents could reasonably have been obtained and what steps were taken to obtain them. Now we'll go on to look at common early mistakes that harm good cases. A common mistake is treating the written narrative as a rough draft and assuming details can be fixed later. The thing is, when major details change later, decision makers interpret it or may interpret it as fabrication, even if the claimant believes that they are just simply clarifying. Another common mistake to be wary of is waiting too long to collect documents. Some records take time to obtain, and if evidence arrives late, it can create procedural issues and credibility concerns. A third mistake is relying on generic letters and unorganized screenshots. So your evidence must be reliable, it must be contextual, and it must be connected to the story. A decision maker will not assume meaning from a screenshot without explanation. I've seen a lot of these cases. People just send screenshots, no context, no explanations. Finally, we'll be looking at practical steps to take immediately. Claimants should create a clear timeline of key events with dates, locations, and names. Claimants should also begin evidence collection early and keep a record of efforts to obtain documents. Claimants should also keep communications and documents organized in a way that can be presented clearly at hearing. That brings us to the end of today's insights. If you're in London or southwestern Ontario and you need help preparing a refugee claim, Nora Law Professional Corporation can help you build a clear evidence plan and prepare your credibility issues early. To request an appointment, please visit noralaw.ca. Thank you.